I think we are live.
Oh, excellent. Good to see you. Hey, everyone. Perfect. Hey, everyone. Welcome. I'm your host, Noel Lorenzana. Today, we're going to talk about Anthony Ferrer of the Timepiece Gentleman, and we do have his blessing. I'll show you that in a bit.
You have
My
his
special
blessing,
guest today-
really? Okay.
You'll
Wow.
see.
Okay. Oh, okay. I want to see it. Yep.
In a way.
Okay.
So my
No,
special
it's
guest
always
is
it's not never black and white. It's never black and white, right?
It never is. Okay, so my special guest today is Lus, aka Tony G. Tony is arguably the #1 authority of all things Timepiece Gentleman and Anthony Ferrer. He's made numerous entertaining videos on the subject, which I'm sure you're all aware of. He's a
Yeah.
successful attorney, business owner, and has a YouTube channel with over 26,000 subscribers. Lus, thanks for joining me on my channel today. How are you this evening?
Absolutely. I'm doing good.
Excellent. So I've got this new streaming platform, Streamlabs Talk Studio. So let me test this out real quick. I've got a comment here from
Yeah, you got
Justin
ha ha ha.
Scoot.
Oh, that's
Okay.
cool. So you're gonna bring
So
up.
we've got that on screen.
Does this
Okay,
also
very good.
connect with like Twitter and stuff? Because sometimes I see like other comment, or maybe like Twitch or something. Like you could.
Yeah, you can live stream on multiple platforms. I know you could live stream on YouTube. I'm sorry, Facebook and other platforms. I really haven't played with it. This is just going live on YouTube right now.
Okay, got it. Makes sense.
Yeah, so tell us real quick how you got interested in Timepiece Gentleman and Anthony Ferrer.
Yeah, so again, I'm not really big in watches, but I have. This isn't actually my only YouTube channel. I have another YouTube channel, Umu, that was rebranded and from Magic the Gathering Lion, and I am always looking to see how people are growing. I'm always looking for you. It doesn't really matter what category of YouTube channel. It could be cooking, it could be shopping, it could be cards, right? And then I came across Anthony and I was like, whoa, this channel is going like from 100 to 10,000 to 100,000. And I have, and as a marketer, right? So I'm like, why is it growing so fast? So I went to dissect it. I was only really a fan until the blackout. And I took a opposing view from a lot of people. I thought the blackout was just some type of marketing hype, and they were going to bring on producer Michael, and he was going to be like, "Wow, you guys are amazing! What marketing innovation?" Because it's basically what Roman said. He's probably got a plan. And then,
I remember that. Up until even after the blackout, you still gave him a lot of credit, and
yep,
I was thinking it was a genius marketing stunt.
marketing
And it
genius
turned
as
out to be it
as
turned out to be
Anthony would
anything
say.
but, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, at that time, then like so much crazy stuff happened that like it just covered it, and um, people wanted. I mean, the views, the engagement. You cannot tell me people don't want, to talk about him.
Right, definitely. He's good for views, and I'm actually surprised more people aren't talking about him. My guess is maybe he's reached out. Like, I know he reached out to you, he's reached out to me. And we're all reasonable guys, and if somebody reaches out in a compassionate way, you want to honor the request as long as it's reasonable. Right? And you did for him, but he kind of took that kind-heartedness and threw it back at your face,
Well, I
which
think
was really uncool.
what happened with him is he did actually have some really big channels, like do collabs, Nico, Roman, Timepiece Trading, which is huge now, Wolves, right? Woven. And every one of those relationships, no one will touch him. And that's very interesting because those are his peers. Those are, like Timepiece Trading with Neil. He didn't have a channel until Anthony was telling him how to do the channel. Wolves of Watch Street didn't have a channel until. So I think a lot more people would cover him, but it's just so negative on the watch market business. So I cover
Right. Yeah.
as almost, a legal expert in certain things. But if you are a watch channel, you would cover him, except it makes the gray market look really bad.
Yeah, it sure does. So real quick, Scott from Scott's Stock Due Diligence says hello. Hey Scott, how you doing? So let me show you this real quick, Tony. It's the uh, what I alluded to earlier, Anthony's somewhat blessing to make videos about him. Let me see if I can get this to work. Hang on one second.
Oh, it's a video. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Can you
Wow,
see it?
this is
Okay, there.
totally wow, this is crazy. Okay, let's go.
All right, there it is. Let's see if this technology works. Fingers crossed.
There is a large community of people out there that do not like me, and I get that. I signed up for this. I understand. I don't care. Pick apart my whole life. Do whatever you want. I don't care. I don't take it personally, and it doesn't affect me.
Okay.
Perfect. That's Anthony in a nutshell.
Right. So that was
Yeah.
from his course. So I'm going to take that as he's a public figure and he's okay with guys like us talking about him, right?
Yeah, I mean, that is that's yeah, it makes sense to me.
Okay, sounds good. This is awesome. We've got 13 viewers on the stream. Thanks, guys. Let's see here. Eric says hello. How you doing, Eric?
Hey, Eric.
And so let me go on to this second thing I wanted to talk about. I'll pull up a slide, but it's what Anthony missed this past Monday, and I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Hang on one second.
There is a large community.
Okay, can you see this slide here?
Oh, the video. Yeah, yep. The Monday video of
Yeah.
the RM. I remember that.
Right. So he says on his Instagram story, I have a very interesting video in the works and will be ready Monday morning, 8 a.m. PST. So, we didn't get any video. And presumably he was going to Arizona to retrieve his lost or stolen Richard Mill valued at, whatever, $200,000 or $300,000. So what do you think happened? We didn't get any video. We didn't get any follow-up regarding this.
Well,
So
I mean,
my guess is,
go ahead.
no, I was just going to say, my guess is that he didn't get the watch back, or he was jumping the gun with his assumptions. What do you think?
So, number one, you have to kind of point this out. Do we actually believe he lost a watch, right? Or is this kind of a grain of salt that you have to take? Maybe, he likes to do these things to, obviously there's some other big things coming down the road that he may be in trouble for doing. But I do not, it's just so strange. The way that the watch was found, it's in the same state, I think even maybe in the same city, and it was offered to his client. So I'm a little skeptical as to, what is this? Like, what's the take? Like, so I have to question, did he lose his watch, or is this just a PR stunt? Now that I think more about it,
Mm-hmm.
he likes to direct attention away when he knows something is really bad and kind of make this,
Right.
oh, I found my watch thing. So I don't even know if it's real. Like this, that he lost a watch and his client, just the way that he found this watch seems very unrealistic to me, because if I had a item that was this much money, I would definitely polish it. I would send it to at least a different state, if not a different country, if I
Sure.
were to move the item.
Yeah, and on this next slide that I just put up, it was Anthony's Instagram post when he attended the Grant Cardone 10X, whatever program, university that was. And he's not wearing a watch, curiously. And his comment was, to somebody who asked, "No watch, bro," was, "Sold it this morning." So that event is when he lost the Richard Mill, if people weren't aware of that.
Yeah, and then if you look at the guy next to him, he's wearing a watch. So I mean,
Yeah,
it's
that
like
that guy.
he's wearing the T-shirt, the watch, like. So I would almost feel like, hey, I need to wear a watch, right? If I had one. So maybe he lost his watch. I don't know, but I mean, there's no way that like if he has that watch, he's not wearing it. If that makes sense. But
Yeah,
it doesn't
exactly.
mean that he couldn't have sold it or given it away to Grant Cardone, right?
Right, exactly. And he's a watch dealer. You'd think that he'd have other watches in his watch roll that he
Well,
brought
he
with
does sell the
with
free
him to
pack.
Vegas.
He sells a free pack for I think $120. So I'm sure he has a lot of those free packs. Maybe he's kind of skimping out and buying the one pack of the TPG brand. But yeah, he
Yeah.
does sell the free pack watch rolls, right?
There you go. Let's read a couple of these comments here. Emilios Man writes, his arrest, question mark. Oh yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. And TTJ says, hang on a second, I just lost it. This guy is a more entertaining than usual grifter. Okay, thanks TTJ for your comment. So yeah, that's all very interesting. And so the theme of this whole live stream is faking everything. I take the approach, knowing what I know now, is that everything he does and posts on social media, I'm questioning it, taking everything with a grain of salt. And I like the way you filter things out. You take a different approach. You assume it's true, then try to rationalize why it is or it isn't.
Because
Right?
it gets more views that way. Because it's crazy. It's how there's this logic. We'll talk about the thing later, but like, I mean, it's better for me to for video sake. It's better for me to assume it's true and how it's going to pan out rather than just assume everything's fake, right?
Right, exactly. So check this out. Today is June 2nd, Friday. And according to this criminal case calendar, Anthony Farrow was due to show up at the airport LA County Courthouse at 8:30 this morning. And some people are saying that was to report for his sentence for what he was
Correct.
charged with, which
Yes.
was presumably the DUI. And I've seen conflicting reports whether it was so it's 48 months of probation, which is a very big deal because if you screw up any time within that 48 months, they could do whatever they want with you essentially. But I've
Yep.
seen 96 days for a jail sentence or 96 months.
Oh, hours, you mean?
I'm
Hours.
sorry,
Yeah.
96 hours versus 96
months.
days.
Yeah, he would be in there for a long time.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So what do you think it is? Do you think it's 96 hours?
Yeah. He played out. Everything I understand means that when you take that type of plea, nola contantra, it's basically I'm not going to admit I'm guilty, but I'm going to save everyone some time. And based on my understanding of the court cases after COVID, especially here in Houston, yeah, they're going to be they are ready to give you a deal because there's just so many cases in the backlog because of COVID
Mhm.
that because they were doing like Zoom and I mean it was like it's a bunch of dinosaurs trying to figure out how to do Zoom. Nothing got accomplished during COVID. So now they have a ton of cases. So I think the 96 days, that doesn't sound right to me. That sounds like a long time. And definitely Anthony's not behaving. 96 days is yeah, it's over 3 months. It's a quarter. The 48 months of probation, I get that. That makes sense to
Mhm.
me. The 96 days, I would probably believe it's 96 hours and it was maybe a mistake. Unless, here's a big unless, something happened that hasn't been updated, i.e.,
Interesting.
on drinking and driving again. Then I could see it go up again. So there is a scenario where it is 96 days, but that scenario, he would have to be I mean, it would be so taking like Fire Festival, which is something happened. the court said you cannot scam somebody, and the guy scammed somebody while going to court. So then the court really punished him real hard. So 96 hours, that's crazy. When you take an hour and now you make it a day, that is a punitive. That's like a exempt. This is an example, right? Now, I'm not saying that this is what happened, but is there a scenario that exists where he gets caught drinking and driving yet again while on his way to court?
It's possible. Anything is possible with Anthony Fair.
It is possible. But I think it would be 90. First time it would be 96 hours because he basically made the court's life easy, unless he got caught doing something else.
Right, and it does make sense. 96 is divisible by 24, so if it was an error, but you think they'd get it right, and I have it.
You would hope. If this was like me or you, right, and we were going to jail, and suddenly the hours became days. you would hope that you could call somebody and be like, hey, what is going on? Change it, right? Like,
yeah, this is a typo. It's not
This is not a small change. You took an hour and made it a day. So the fact that they made this mistake and it's still here, it's not great. It's not great for the justice system.
Yeah. So check out this next slide I just put up. It's the criminal case summary. The 2 counts. One was he pled not guilty, and that was dismissed.
Yep.
And the other one, 23-152B, nolo contendere, which I assume is Spanish for no contest, guilty/convicted. And I looked up the code. It's driving with a blood alcohol content of 0.08% or higher.
Yep. So interestingly enough, they let him go on the running because, we'll get to this later, but he ran and he put 2 police officers in danger because they almost got hit by, all 3 of them almost got hit by a car when he was running.
Yeah.
The 0.08, there's no contest because they took his blood. So, I mean, they were very generous in what they prosecuted him with, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So apparently they could issue a search warrant for your blood sample in a DUI case. I didn't.
In California,
I kind of knew about that, but yeah, that's pretty wild. Yeah, let's. So we've got 17 people on the stream. Thanks for joining, everybody. Please be sure to hit that like button. So I've got a much smaller channel than yours, Tony. So
hey, have them post it on Reddit. Have them post it on Reddit. One of these 17 people, just post it on Reddit, and they'll come.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's look at some of these comments. Emilios Man says, juicy stuff. Thanks, Emilios. Let's see. There was another one here. Justin Scoot says, looking back at Anthony's story and how much of the come up we got to see that led to this point is truly is remarkable. LOL. Yeah. I mean, I made that video, The Rise and Fall of the Timepiece Gentleman, and I think it sums up, if Netflix did a movie, that would be a perfect title for them. Feel free to, steal that title.
I think there are a lot of different titles you could put. I think when I look at the Reddit, I think they tried to make it. I mean, the outcome of this has to be a movie, right? It's so it's going to end, I think, poorly, but it will be interesting when the movie comes out. When
Anthony had his Netflix movie / documentary aspirations, I thought he was completely crazy, but the more the story unfolds, the more probable that seems to me. It's something I would totally watch. I think it would get tons of views, and it would give him what he's been seeking, which is, fame. At what price though, right?
But you look at the Tiger King, you look at these other people, they don't care. Like Anna, they're short, whatever her name was, inventing Anna. They're never painted in a good way, but man, they love the fame, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. So let's look at this next topic here. admittedly, I don't know a lot about this guy. Lewis, one of the newer
Oh,
Timepiece Gentleman
yeah. I
characters.
heard that he's threatening people now. He's
I saw
threatening
that.
people
I
on
saw
Reddit,
that.
yeah, to sue them and stuff because I think he's a lawyer.
Yeah,
And his
but I don't
dad's a
think
judge
anyone
or
is really
something.
concerned. Uh-huh.
Very.
But get this. So his Instagram, he's dropped any mention of Timepiece Gentleman except for maybe the .tpg at the end. But he used to have Timepiece Gentleman in the lower right underneath his name. And they found this on Reddit, it's the tpgentleman.com. Yeah, the TP Gentleman on Reddit. They found this. He actually set up a website, moretimepieces.com. After it was discovered and people were talking about it, he took it down. But they got this screenshot, and I'll read it. It says, "Welcome to MTP, your ultimate destination for luxury timepieces. We cover the latest information, news, reviews, and original stories on wristwatches, blah, blah, blah." So it looks like to me he might be thinking about or planning to go on his own. Have you seen this?
Yeah, or he could be taking over TPG while Anthony is doing some other stuff at the time.
Yeah, it could be. But if he's only going away for 4 days and probably even
It
less
could be.
because it's
It
Los
honestly
Angeles.
could. Now that I think about it, it could be 96 days. Like there is a probability. So in the beginning, I thought it was a mistake, but typically, that's not a mistake they would make. It's a pretty egregious mistake, and it's still on the website.
Right.
And the longer it stays on the website, the more I'm like, I mean, I don't
exactly.
know.
It's been on there for a while. If it was a mistake, you would have thought they would have corrected that by now,
Or they
right?
would have, they would have caught it based on how much people are clicking on the website. They'd be like, "Oh, this page has so much traffic." There must be something. I just feel like that the whole Watch University, this guy, it's set up, and the whole franchising. Remember, the whole franchise that make no sense unless you're setting it up for Luis or Z to run the company without you.
Right, but it looks like Z has also updated his Instagram. I think he closed it and set up a new Instagram page, which is a little strange. And so who's left? Who's gonna stick around?
You know who's left? Darby and Liz.
Darby and Liz. Okay, let me go to this next slide because this leads right in. So Liz, this is Liz's Instagram. She's removed Timepiece Gentleman from underneath her signature there.
Yep.
So she's kind of dropped the affiliation. And
she's a part-time job now.
Yes. So she's doing this now. SMP.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Scalp. I didn't know about this, but apparently scalp micropigmentation is the non-surgical treatment of tattooing dots on a bald man's head, presumably.
Yeah.
And is that Darby? It looks like Darby on the right.
It looks like his beard, but I don't know. It would be weird. I mean, it would be weird for Darby to have that. Like, this isn't. I don't think that's normal. I have never heard of this either until like Liz was talking about it.
So yeah, Liz has got a new side hustle, and good for her. This looks like it could really pan out for her. I mean, why not? Women get tattoos on their eyebrows, their lips, around their eyes. If a guy wants fake hair follicles tattooed on his head, who are we to say that you shouldn't do it?
And
but I think a bald head
has tattoos, so like she probably has tattooing experience or something, like at least a passion for it. So good for her. It's time to diversify, really.
Exactly. I wonder what Darby would do. He could still do his videography and filmmaking. I think he does a great job with that, as long as
wait a second.
Motivation.
Somebody said that she's doing this on TPG Office. This is Darby. Look, the background of the pictures, right? The pictures of of the Ken dude. Like I forget what Ryan Gosling. Like they're
Wait,
in the last picture. They're
okay.
at the office.
Oh
That's
my
their
gosh, you're
picture.
right.
Yeah, I didn't notice that. Like it's the last picture. They're in the off. They're 100% in the office.
You're right. That has to be Darby. I didn't
Yeah,
know
it
he was
is.
bald.
It's
He
got
always wore a hat.
But like, why are they doing this in the office? They're clearly not licensed for This is weird, you know.
Yeah,
This is weird.
that's interesting. You know, I think Darby does have hair. He probably just shaved his head and used that picture just for marketing purposes for Liz.
I mean, but are
Yeah.
they operating from the TPG office at night or something? Like,
It looks
doesn't
like
seem
it.
like they have like their own place, right? It seems. I thought Liz was hired by another company and she was working at that other company's offices. But like, how are they going to do this? Like, does this scream luxury to you, Noel? Let's say you walk in, you're looking for your Panda Daytona, right? You walk in,
Okay.
and there's just a bald guy getting tattooed into the head at the office.
Yeah. It doesn't scream luxury to me, but you know, it's LA and
Oh,
probably
the comment.
anything goes.
The little red Ferrari on the bottom left. Yeah, you can see it. On from
Okay,
the
hang on a
last
second.
image, the bottom left. He's got. You remember he's got those little tiny cars of the Pagani and stuff.
Yeah. Watches
Yeah,
and wheels.
this is
Thanks for your
100% their office.
astute
This is 100% their
observations.
office.
Wow. So maybe Liz just set up a chair there. All you need is a chair and a desk to lay out your equipment.
This is not scream luxury. A luxury experience.
No, I don't know.
Oh man.
If you, I don't know if you didn't have hair, would you want little black dots on the top of your head?
No,
I don't think I would.
No, because oh man, it's just not like I don't like the idea of tattoos and the micro tattoos and this and that and you know we had a client that was like a tattoo store one time
Mm-hmm.
and they were just you know it's a tough business to be in. You know, it's a
Yeah,
it's
very
a really
competitive.
tough margin cash flow business to be in. I think this idea doesn't make any sense because for the same probably amount of money and same time, same like you can go to Thailand and get like real hair, like from your like you know from your back or something put into your hair.
That's true. Interesting. So, yeah, I wonder is Liz out at TPG? I
don't-
think it's
I don't
I think it
see
could
how
be a
they can get
possibility.
out because their rent, their apartment, their cars, their food, their salary. Like Los Angeles is really expensive. And before they were doing this, like what were they? Darby was just filming, you know, bikini models, right? Probably doesn't pay that much, like he's mentioned before. It's hard to collect money on those clients. And then Liz
Right.
was I think a bartender or something like that. So they don't have this isn't like a doctor and a lawyer go to the city, you know. This is, you know, I mean, Darby, he's got to try harder than he's trying right now. You know, I could see if he pitched the original videos, maybe an influencer hires him, but I cannot see like that happening today with his quality of video today.
Yeah, definitely. Eric Shum commented, "Now that's next level customer service." Very cool. It is exactly. You
Yeah,
can buy
it is.
you can buy a watch, a nice Rolex, and get your dots tattooed on your head.
So, you know, you get a discount, I guess. You get a deal.
It's a one-stop shop. So Huck says, "Good evening, gents. Thank you for reporting on our favorite clown, Anthony." Well, you're not a clown per se, but he's entertaining. He does have a lot of entertainment value. I'll
Hey,
give
you
him
never
that.
know. I mean, if they're tattooing little dots on your head, maybe they have like clown makeup in the background somewhere, like interns, right?
Yeah. Watches and wheels. She's doing this on the TPG office. Look at the background. You're 100% correct.
Yeah,
Watches and wheels.
I didn't catch that until yeah, he mentioned that. I was like, yeah, it is a TBG background.
Yeah, I thought it might be Darby, but yeah, the background is the dead giveaway there. That is
I'm almost
really
positive it
interesting.
is Darby now because like who else? Like if you were looking for this, you would want like a professional and a professional, clean, sterile environment. I mean, like right, you're getting tattooed in the head. You would need a person with experience. Like this got to be Darby because no one else would do this. No other reasonable human being would, do this at a watch luxury store. That just screams like, just not professional.
Yeah, and presuming he does have hair, I think he does. That's fake marketing because those are real hair follicles, presumably.
It wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me if that was the idea.
Yeah. So check this out. I want to show you something. So let me see if this works. I'm pulling up the Timepiece Gentleman website. Can you see it?
No, I'm still on that other slide with
Okay,
Liz.
maybe there's a delay. Oh, okay. Yeah, hold on. I got to click this button here. Share this tab instead. Okay.
Oh, nice.
So this is the Timepiece Gentleman website. Very well
very
done.
fancy.
I love their site. Very professional. Look at that. And so if you scroll down and you actually try to buy a watch, like let's try to buy this Starbucks.
It's good to watch.
Okay, 17,500. Actually,
A lot cheaper than I remember it being. I thought it was like 22,500, but I guess the price has really gone down in the Starbucks.
Yeah, I thought they were more expensive. Okay, so
too.
you click on you click on it and 17,500 bank wire price, one in stock, buy now. Okay, great, right? So let's say we want to buy this watch. You click on it. Let's see what happens. Okay, it takes you right back to the homepage. So it's not going. Well, wait, let me try this one. Maybe that was a fluke. Let's try this GMT with the meteorite dial. Wow.
I do like meteorite dials. Very expensive though, but I like
the 63,000. Okay, white gold. It's white gold. Okay, buy now. So it doesn't go anywhere. It just goes back to the homepage. So my point is, you can't. The website isn't set up for actually buying a watch. It used to be. It used to offer you a checkout page.
Try to buy some merchandise. See if it works for the merchandise. They have plenty of those.
Oh, okay, sure. Let's try a black hoodie here. My guess is these do work. Extra small. Who would want an extra small? Okay, yeah, I looked at this. I believe it's on a Shopify site.
So part of the website works. The other part does. Yeah. Okay, so that looks different.
Okay, so yeah, this is a Shopify checkout here, I believe. So this works.
Because I know the original, you could use Grand Calibers on Shopify, I believe, still today.
Yeah, so interesting. And what else did I want to show you? Okay, so let's talk about Watch Dealer University. So I don't know if you ever went directly to the website, but if you type it in, watchdealeruniversity.com, it doesn't work. It takes you to this GoDaddy parked free page.
Interesting. So because it used to work, because that's where he had all his seminars, right? On the website.
Well, right. This is the course website. But here's the thing. This is website 101. The way it works for this website, the way Anthony set it up incorrectly, you have to add the www. Without the www, it's not going to work. If you add it in, it'll take you to the course page. So that's kind of website 101. You need to create a redirect. So any search with or without the www takes you to the same page with the www, since that's where they set it up. So I don't know. That's kind of website 101 that I think they really messed up on. And it's an easy fix.
They hired a third-party web developer for all this stuff, and the guy didn't get paid. This happens in my business sometimes too. there's no payment, and then it's just like, okay, well, we can't continue to work on this anymore. We put in our hours and we delivered the website, and then whatever happens is whatever happens. We honored our contract.
Right, exactly. Oh, okay. So I didn't share the screen properly. So on the screen now should show the website that comes up without the www.
And think about the websites they're recommending you. Auto Garage, is that luxury? Nope. Online College, is that luxury? Nope. Kia dealership, probably one of the least luxury cars that are around. That's what they associate with the type of people visiting this website. These are the related searches to it.
That's true. That's a good point. Online College. So I'm just going to add in the www so everybody could see that by adding that, it takes you to the correct website
Right.
/ homepage.
They didn't have the redirect.
Right. Exactly.
Which takes almost no time at all to do. It takes literally 2 seconds to do from a
exactly. It's just exactly. It's website development 101. I mean, I know how to do that. I've done that before. So yeah, let's go to these comments real quick. I think we have some good comments. Oh yeah, so Eric says that the website is actually a WordPress site. I believe that, Eric. But I think with his new TPG merchandise, the hoodies and hats and shirts, I believe that the checkout is for Shopify.
Yeah, you can have a WordPress site that uses a Shopify app. That's probably what it is.
Right.
I have one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Ed F says, it appears that Liz may be renting space in a salon. See the comments in the third photo, which says in part, I'm only charging for my seat time. I could see that. But the one photo on the right was definitely Darby at the 150 South Rodeo Drive.
Yeah.
That was interesting. Emilios Man says, I want a tattoo of Richard Millwatch on my wrist with the blue strap. LOL. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. That way you can't actually lose the watch.
Yeah.
Very interesting. So let me show you this next slide that I have prepared. All right, and you saw the video for this one. I didn't really see. I saw part of it. I didn't really watch it closely, but
I probably did. I just don't remember it. Honestly.
Okay, so this is your thumbnail actually, and I just added the title. Do you believe Anthony Ferrer makes $5,000 an hour?
Oh yeah.
Okay, there
I remember this. I remember this.
Yeah, so he said in the video, I believe it was a link to or a video for a course when he was promoting a course, and he was saying that
the sales of the course, to potential students.
Yeah, he was saying he could make $5,000 an hour, and that's what he would charge another watch dealer if they wanted an hour of his time.
Yep.
I think that's completely ludicrous. And hence, my whole premise of he's faking a lot of things, and
well, how else are you going to sell your watch course, right? I mean, you got to kind of, the road to $1 million. Remember that watch? I think it was on TikTok or YouTube where he was making like trades, and then he kind of gave up, like after like losing money.
Right.
I mean, the idea of selling the course is you can make as much money as me, and therefore he wants to inflate. Yeah, here he's going to do on track to do $40 million in sales.
Yeah, that's quite a number. Honestly, if he was doing 40 million in sales, why the heck would he be selling a course? I mean, that would just be a waste of his time.
Yeah.
If you're making $5,000 an hour, you're on track to do 40 million in sales. Why bother with chump change selling courses?
Well, his fans will say that he's selling the course to help them. So that's the argument that he makes is, he could be making a lot more money, but out of the goodness of his heart, he is, selling these courses at a massive discount. So you can become wealthy as well. This is the, whole university scam, right? I mean, Hustlers University, whatever university you want to put out there. That's the idea is, oh, I make so much money that, but I want to give back to random strangers online.
Yeah, definitely. And check out this next slide here. If I can get that to work. Okay, Watch Dealer University in the privacy policy, refunds and sales. Please note that all sales are final and no refunds will be issued for any purchases made through our services. Okay, I get it. But every course that I've seen has a refund policy.
Yep.
and-
Even the really bad ones like Dan Locke or Ty Lopez or
Yeah.
like they do have a refund policy because they just want to get your foot in the door.
Right. Because exactly, foot in the door. If you buy the course, odds are refunding it is very low because you might watch 40 minutes of it, then you'll never come back to it.
Well,
and you'll
they
forget
do
about
is
refunding.
then they blame the person who bought it and they say, oh, you didn't work hard enough. So what they do is very simple. So the reason they can't refund you is because they assume that you would do X amount of work and you were being lazy and you didn't do the work, and therefore we can't give you the refund.
Right. Or they could say, like in the fine print, you need to finish the course,
Yep.
and
finish
only
the course,
then will we issue a refund.
and then we give you a refund. Correct.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I don't know. I wonder how many courses he's sold.
Ooh, if I had to take a random guess, he had 32 people, including himself, on that Zoom call. Maybe some people were not on the Zoom call. Maybe some people were going to pre-record it. I mean, I still got to guess under 50 for sure. If I had to guess how many of them were paid, I'd probably say less than 25. But
Yeah.
still, it's still a good chunk of money. If he sells even 10 of them, that's still $15,000 for the average American. That's multiple months of work at McDonald's. It's almost half a year of work at McDonald's that he sold like this. So give credit where credit's due. I mean, we probably made a little bit of money from it.
Yeah, and I give him credit because his ability to promote a course and to sell it and to the course video is very compelling. If I didn't know a whole lot about the back history and I was interested in starting a watch reselling or flipping business, that course would probably be on the top of my list, not knowing anything else about him.
Well, let me give you another hypo, which would be more interesting. Back when they were really popular, they definitely sold like 120 or 125 spots in their Facebook, which kind of, the mentorship, the deals, the, answering questions. You really have to ask it. Right now, he's down on his luck. A lot of bad things have come out. But what if he was original TPG selling those Facebook plaques and, who knows what they're selling? How many courses could he have sold pre-blackout at $2,000 a pop? I would imagine, a lot. He could have made a lot of money because he did make a lot of money. But if he had the course, the university training, I think he sells probably 200 courses at $2,000 a pop, $400K.
Yeah, it's very well possible. Justin Scoot says 100s.
Hundreds.
Very, very well possible. So, the elephant in the room, I think, Tony, is this arrest report that they found on Reddit. It was compliments of Timepiece Tugs. I believe that was his Reddit handle.
That's his name, Timepiece.
Thank you, Timepiece Tugs. I don't know how he got it.
Well,
it
the backstory was he had been trying to get it for like 4 weeks or 3 weeks or something. So he kept asking, they kept saying no. He kept asking somebody else. He kept saying no, or, talk to my supervisor. And he spent, so, I mean, I'll put it this way. It's kind of scary almost, right? What they found on Luis with his NFT projects and all that. And then what they found on, I mean, the dude never gave up after being told repeatedly no.
Yeah.
Departments and so on. He just kept going at it. And then eventually he got it. And it was a link. And, I mean, I would be shocked and amazed if it was fake. I think it's 100% real, given the level of details and the names, the officer IDs. I mean, but it is a little scary. You have to admit, it's a little scary that that you have an individual who spent that much time getting that piece of information.
Yeah. So is it difficult to obtain a police report or an arrest report?
Yeah, because well, for him it was. The way that he described it was it took him 3 to 4 weeks because he kept getting the roundabout, and the interesting other part would be the body camera footage, which you can also obtain from the police
Oh,
officer.
wow.
The guy who tackled him would be, but there's 2 of them, so you could actually obtain both of them because they get filed with the case, and it's all public, right? It's all public information available for,
Mhm.
and there's a reason that you have it available to the public in case something happens, right? The taser accident, whatever, right?
Sure.
Misfiling, maybe it hit him, maybe it didn't. Well, we have body camera footage. My
Right.
my guess about this situation is um this happened in February. He's been very arrogant. Like, he's not been humbled. He's not changed his life. I think this would be, for most people, a life-changing event, right?
Yeah.
Hey, the police
Yeah,
caught
you would
you,
think.
you're drinking, and you ran away, and they almost tasered you, and they tackled you. But I didn't see any change in his behavior because this happened, like, I think mid-February. From that period, he's still
Mhm.
confiscating people's watches. He's still recording people without consent. He's,
Yeah.
blasting Jordan, another watch dealer. There's not any point where I'm just like, okay, something bad has happened to you. You regret that it happened. And now, and again, even the pictures of him driving, right? After. I don't know. I don't remember
Yeah.
the Ferrari
Yeah.
was after or not, but they bought a Ferrari for marketing purposes. It's
Yeah.
a little insane.
Right. So if people don't know, the presumably the arrest report for Anthony William Ferrer was found, obtained by somebody on Reddit, Timepiece Tugs, and it's available for the world to see. And it's really, really interesting. If you guys want us to read parts of it, let us know. GB Vool wrote body blue raised arms. I believe that was a description in the police report.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. But anyway, somebody sent me this audio. They say it's from the body cam footage.
Could be.
I don't know if that's the case or not. But let me play this for you. Let me know what you guys think. Hopefully this works. Hang on.
We got the runner. Go! Freeze, sir! Freeze! Hey! I said freeze! Whoa! I said freeze, goddammit! Freeze! Yeah! That's your arm, buddy!
I don't think that's the right one. I don't think that's real. I think that's kind of from maybe a movie.
That was a joke. That was from
Yeah.
Reno 911.
Oh, Reno, yeah, that sounds pretty intense.
But somebody's gonna get the body cam footage, and that's gonna be very interesting.
Oh, okay. There's an interesting question I love to ask you. So there's a passenger, not in the passenger seat. He's in the rear back.
Yes, I saw that.
That's kind of weird because wouldn't you be in the passenger seat, right? I don't understand why he's in the back. Who do you think that was?
Maybe he was driving
Total
for Uber. I don't know.
We have no knowledge. Just total speculation.
Yeah, that is really interesting. And they said in their police report he or she stepped out and went by the
even identify the gender.
Car.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah. So let's see. Justin Scoot says wanted to pump the course out ASAP. Yeah, definitely. Knowing what we know now, he was in a rush to push that out before June 2nd, today, presumably. But today was the day he was supposed to show up for his jail sentence. Justin appreciated the humor. We've got a runner. Thank you, Justin. Ha ha ha. Yeah. Okay, GB Vool says, why was Anthony's passenger in the back seat?
Yeah, that is a good question. I mean, it's weird. Like the way that it was described, that there was one passenger and he was just in the back seat. Like he wasn't even sitting in the front.
Right. Did they say it was a he or a she?
No, they
They
didn't.
identify
I don't
that?
think they identified the gender of it either.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Do you want to go over some of this police report?
Do you have it?
Yeah, let me see if I could pull it up here.
I
Give me
can
a second.
basically go over. I mean, basically, he ran. I mean, he gave his driver's license. They checked everything. He started answering questions of how much he drank. Not good to do. And then he ran, even though they knew who he was. There was a passenger still left that he abandoned.
Yeah.
They had his driver's license. Oh, also the other part is he's been there for a year and he still has a Texas driver license, not a California one. And that is a violation for sure.
Yeah, that was really interesting. So he was driving his 2020 G-Wagon, his Mercedes G-Wagon.
This is also what I said, like in another video, I think coming out tomorrow. When you're drunk and you're driving a G-Wagon, you might feel invincible. A G-Wagon is basically a tank.
It is a tank.
A used Honda Civic, who, God forbid there's an accident and the car you crash into is not another G-Wagon. The damage that you would inflict on, maybe perhaps a family or something would be much more devastating than, the damage to receive. And I think that's something that should be said, that this is not this is a very selfish act in what he's doing.
Yeah. So down here, these check boxes, misdemeanor incarceration, checked off, was so intoxicated as to be a danger to themselves or others. Number 2, required medical examination or medical care, or was otherwise unable to care for their own safety. 3, was arrested under one or more of the circumstances listed in various sections of the California Vehicle Code.
And this is why they held him for a day, because if you go back, they were afraid that if they released him, he would just get in his car again and, mow somebody over. That's why they held him for a night or however long it was.
Yeah. And what have you been drinking? Coronas.
5 to 6.
How much? 5 to 6 bottles. Time started drinking 9 p.m. Time stopped 2 to 3 a.m. And so do you feel the effects of the drinks described?
He said yes. He said check box yes.
Yeah, on a scale of 0 to 10, he indicated.
So he's sitting there
4.
giving all this information, and he still runs. It's crazy, in my opinion. Like, I mean, what else do you need?
Oh my gosh, he runs. Yeah, that is crazy. Let's get to that.
That's the crazy part. He's like, he runs. Oh, clothing description. Yeah. They made fun of this because of the watches, right? They say all in fair condition. You know how he says like brand new, right? Like new.
All in fair condition, exactly.
Yeah,
black sweatshirt, black jeans, black
on.
Shoes.
That's the police reporting on the actual condition, not his, watch condition.
Exactly, and I'm pretty sure this has to be our Anthony, correct? I mean, there's no way there's another Anthony.
There's another Anthony Farrar in Texas who's 5'10". Remember, he's always saying he's 5'10" because it's on his driver's license. So I think there's a lot of giveaways, that this is the right guy.
Exactly. So under the third page here, first observations. On February 18th at approximately 02:14 hours, I was on patrol for the CHP West Los Angeles area office working. My attention was drawn to a black Mercedes-Benz G63, which was traveling directly ahead of us in the number 1 lane of the off-ramp. I observed the G63, which was traveling directly ahead of us. I observed the Mercedes-Benz drift to the right, causing the right side tires to cross the broken white lines. The Benz straddled both lanes for approximately 20 feet, and the driver applied the brakes for no apparent reason. The Benz drifted back into lane 1. So skipping ahead, I observed the Mercedes-Benz did not have a month or year registration tab affixed to the rear license plate. So then he gets stopped. And this is where it starts to get interesting. The officer writes, let me just scroll down so you guys can follow along. I exited the patrol vehicle and made a driver's side approach, and Officer Hirabedian made a passenger side approach. The left rear window had heavy window tint to the point where I could not see inside the vehicle. I instructed the driver to put down all the windows, and he did not comply. Again, I instructed the driver to put down all the windows. The driver was slow to react, but finally put the left rear window down. So not the front rear window, the back rear window.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah.
For the left rear window, yeah. I advised the driver the reason for the stop and requested his identification through the open driver window side. The driver handed me his valid Texas driver's license, positively identifying him as Anthony William Ferrer. I could smell. So let me just stop here. So you hand over your identification and then you still proceed to run. How does that make sense? They have your identification, right?
Well, there are comments on Reddit saying that maybe he had something in his pockets he wanted to get rid of.
Oh.
And then that's why he kind of ran and then dropped it somewhere. And, again, that's all speculation. But that would really assume Anthony is really smart. Like this is like next level like intelligence to run to realize so like there's some time delay. So there are substances in the car, right, which they didn't find. They found the pepper gun, a substance that is white, and then you put it in your pocket, and then you run, and it drops. Maybe the police aren't looking for that on the ground. They kind of just tackle him.
Yeah, that's definitely possible. And
but that would be next level. That's next level intelligence,
Yeah. So Tony, excuse me real quick, but in honor of this breaking news, I have to have this Corona. I haven't had one of these for many years. I'm usually an IPA drinker when I do have the occasional beer, but in light of this arrest report, I'm gonna have a Corona. What are you guys drinking? Anything?
I'm just drinking antioxidants. I'm still trying to lose my weight. I'm on 75 hard. I mean, it's not funny when you talk about it, but I am on 75 hard.
Okay, Dirk Diggler, leased G63. Oh, for sure it was leased. I mean, I think it was leased. I don't know.
Who would I mean, this is one of the other crazy things. He's got to have these cars under somebody else's name. Given how many DUIs he's had, I don't think an insurance company would be like, yeah, let's do it. We're okay with, this guy, this particular person leasing these highly valuable vehicles, right? So the question is like, it's gotta be on somebody's name, like Darby or Z. And I think about it and it's just like, so like one of the other comments people on Reddit made is, it's about taxes. So if this guy can't even do his registration correctly or change his license, how many other, and these are very simple things that people do on the regular basis all the time when they move, right?
Sure. Right.
Then what is the probability that he's not doing other things in his business that are more complicated, like taxes, like lawsuit correctly? So it doesn't build confidence in the business. If I was an investor, I would be like, whoa, you didn't even have like your license chains or the sticker on the back of your, vehicle license. Like these are simple things that takes minute. I mean, I got my sticker the other day from Texas and it took, I think it took like half an hour for the inspection. And then you fill out the form online and within like 5 minutes, they then you print it out and then they mail it to you in a week or something.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I don't even know how that works. If you have DUIs on your record and maybe multiple moving violations, so they obviously look at that. If you're leasing a vehicle, they're going to look at your driving.
Because you are a risk for crashing the vehicle, and God forbid, if you kill somebody, the insurance still has to pay out for that.
Right. So how does that even work? Trying to get insurance with multiple DUIs. I mean,
It's
you've got
either
to be
going to
paying
be
through the nose.
yeah, either really expensive or they're just going to say no, we don't want to do it. It's
Right,
not for
right.
us,
I
and
would
then you'll
assume
have
the
to turn
latter.
to like some shadier insurance with higher rate, just astronomical rates.
Yeah, Dirk Diggler says, "I wonder how expensive his auto insurance is if he has current insurance." I mean, he had to have had insurance because it wasn't on the police report, right?
Here's like kind of the interesting thing is if the car is not under his name, um, I just don't. None of this makes sense to me, like
Mhm.
personally. From like, how do you insure somebody like Anthony with his history, and he doesn't have a California driver's license, right? Because again, it would have been suspended. What happened was actually kind of smart, and this is why Anthony might be more intelligent than we give him credit for. They can't suspend. California cannot suspend his Texas license. That's why you see him still driving around. Had that been a California license, it would have been suspended until they reached the agreement. So he has all
Oh,
these pictures
yeah.
and videos of him driving everywhere to Arizona. Hey, I'm picking up my RM. Uh, if it was a California license and he had drinking and driving in California, they would have suspended his license until after, at least until after jail time was, or
Okay.
after a period of
Yeah,
time.
that's a really interesting point. I would imagine that California, after a period of time, would require him to get a California driver's
Yeah, so
license.
actually it's in the police report. I don't know exactly what period of time, but he violates it because you're supposed to within at least a year. I think it's probably 90 days or something.
Mhm.
It's state dependent, but you are supposed to for obvious reasons, right? You're supposed to now get a California driver's license.
Yeah. So let's see. GB Vool says you can modify a leased. Maybe it means I think he's saying you can't modify a leased car that much. Anthony added $60,000 of mods. I don't
Well,
remember the G wagon. Was it modded that much? I don't think so. I
well,
saw the
one car
Corvette had
had the Lambo doors, right?
yeah
Yeah.
the Barbie's Corvette, and that's crazy. Why would you do that? But anyway,
Well, it's it's just appearance, right? But
right?
I think they don't get so like what would apply to a normal person is not applying to Anthony. So you might be the dealer and say, do not mod, in your contract, it says do not mod the vehicle released to you.
Hmm.
That's not going to stop Anthony from modding it. And if he has to pay the fines later, he'll pay the fines, right? I think that's his
Yeah, and if
mentality.
right, and if he's putting, $10,000-$20,000 worth of mods, they probably wouldn't mind all that much because they're gonna they're gonna turn around and mark those to the next buyer as upgrades.
Well, you would hope so, but a lot of times when you mod stuff like especially motorcycles and stuff, they actually detract from, instead of having a base Corvette with
Hmm.
everyone. So if you want a Corvette, you're thinking, the doors open the regular way.
Right.
Modifying a car or especially a motorcycle for what you want to do that seems cool because you're customizing it may not be cool for the next. It's going to narrow. So I work in some of my clients are auto dealerships. They hate modded. They don't give a if you mod a car for like $60,000 and that thing has to be remodded back because the customer is expecting a Corvette to look a certain way. If a Corvette
That's
looks like a
interesting.
Lambo, the customer is not trying to rent a Corvette that looks like a Lambo. They're just trying to rent a Corvette.
Yeah, that's a good point. Dirk Diggler says he is so lucky he did not get busted again in Texas because he would have seen years in the state pen. Yeah, Texas. That's probably where he got his previous
I think it's
DUIs, I
where
would
he got
think.
both of them, yeah. And but uh, like some of this is luck, and some of this is him planning. Him understanding. Like right after his probation was gone, he went to Los Angeles. And he knew, and let me up before this, he knew that if he violated again and drink and drive again,
Yeah.
Texas, it would be over. That would be the third time. And I think
Yeah,
that if he went to Los Angeles, they would be much more lenient on him.
I really would hope that he, learned from his lessons because he's got a lot of them, and it seems like he's got multiple, 9 lives and lucky horseshoes up,
He has
where.
been extremely lucky. It has
Mhm.
been. If it's 96 hours, I think most people will agree that is a very, very light sentence for the crime and then running away from the crime. If you read a
Yeah.
police report, the 2 police officers chased Anthony, and a car almost hits all 3 of them.
Yeah, that's crazy. Let me go back on this police report and read a little bit more. So after he was positively ID'd with his Texas driver's license, the officer writes, I could smell the strong odor of an alcoholic beverage emitting from the vehicle. While speaking with Farrer, I noticed his eyes were red and watery and his speech appeared slurred. I asked Farrer how much alcohol he had consumed, and he stated he had 4 drinks. I asked Farrer to exit the vehicle and meet me by the patrol vehicle. I asked Farrer a series of pre-field sobriety test questions. While asking Farrer about the pre-FST questions, I smelled the odor of an alcoholic beverage emitting from his breath and about his person. I asked Farrer to perform a series of field sobriety tests. Farrer stated that he lived in California for 1 year. A DMV inquiry by name and date of birth showed no match to a California driver's license. So, okay, let me go on here. This is kind of funny. Okay, so field sobriety test, observations, walk and turn. Farrer declined to perform the FST, stating he had
I forgot about that one.
pins in his feet. 1 leg stand. Farrer declined to perform the FST, stating he had pins in his feet. What does that mean? What does that mean?
I don't.
Pins in your
I just
feet?
think it means that he is going to fall. Again, my advice to this, if you ever get caught by the police, they are not your friends. They
Sure,
are not on
right.
the same side as you. So you do need to say, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Make them get the warrant for your blood, and then maybe you have to do it. But Anthony answered a lot of questions that he should not have answered. And you would think that
Right.
somebody like him would know not to speak, about how many Coronas he was drinking, when he drank, how much. I mean, they even asked him, when's the last time you went to bed? And he answered it.
Exactly. When did you wake up? What did you have for dinner? Isn't the best approach, and I've heard this from other, let's call them YouTube lawyers, that you should never talk to cops, especially if you're involved with some criminal activity, because what you say can and will be used against you, but it can't be used to help you, right?
So they're not looking to help you. They will read your
Sure.
Miranda rights, and after they read you those
Mhm.
rights, then it's all free game to So Anthony is right. He needs to speak to a lawyer. Because basically, when you say I need my lawyer, they have to kind of cut the conversation. They have to be like, okay, he's asked for his lawyer. Okay, we gotta wait.
Mhm.
This is pins in his feet is just something that he's clearly drunk. No one should be saying this. It's not good evidence for him. People aren't like, oh, clearly this guy's not drunk. He can talk about pins, right? Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to page 5 of 6. So hang in there. Arrest. Based on Farrer's poor driving, signs and symptoms of alcoholic intoxication, his answers to the pre-FST questions, and his poor performance on FSTs, I formed the opinion Farrer had been driving a motor vehicle while under the influence of an alcoholic beverage, and his continued operation of a motor vehicle would be unsafe. Farrer was standing to the right rear of my patrol vehicle on the sidewalk at approximately 0224 hours. I instructed Farrer to turn around and placed his hands behind his back. Farrer abruptly turned around and ran away from me in a northerly direction along the west side of Fairfax Avenue. So yeah, that's where the chase begins. That is crazy.
So
Running from
let
the
me point
cop.
this out. I mean, Anthony, I'm just gonna say it, and whatever comes to come. This is what I feel about it. There are minorities that do this, and their punishment or whatever happens to them is much worse than Anthony. They every single step of what happened seemed like they treated Anthony very well. They treated him beyond fair, in my personal opinion, from the sentencing to the plea deal to the chasing him down. This could have ended much, much worse if Anthony was a different person, in my opinion.
I agree. If he was, I'll just say it. If he was yellow, black, or brown, they would have
Yes,
probably kicked the shit out of
what
him.
I'm alluding to. Yeah,
And that's just that's just the way it is in America.
when you run
I hate
away,
to say it.
you are allowing the police to do force multiplier. They're bringing out the tasers. When you run away, the police can chase you and they can tackle. They can do. At that point, you're hostile, and you present a danger to the police. And in this case, the police almost got hit by a car.
Yeah.
So if they were upset about that or they didn't like, I don't think anyone wants to get hit by a car, right?
Right.
They were very, very kind to Anthony, from everything from the arrest to the, pleas to even, this document taking so long for it to become public.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was. I dare to say he was benefiting from some, let's call it privilege.
Well,
He
some
probably
people have
looked
mentioned
affluent.
maybe it was the G-Wagon.
Yeah, the G-Wagon, sure.
Yeah.
Maybe the expensive looking watch, but most people don't notice watches. But yeah, the G-Wagon. What does that
I'm
cost?
sure he told them.
90,000.
I'm sure he says, like, this is do you know what this is? This is a richer mill.
Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am?
Well,
Anyway,
everyone knows who he is. He's got the branded merchandise on.
But anyway, I can't. Well, I should say, when the body cam footage comes out, there's going to be memes coming out left and right, and I think we can expect the body cam footage, because if we know anything about Timepiece Tugs, he has a lot of perseverance and
Dedication.
tenacity.
Yeah,
He was able to get
dedication.
the police report. The dedication, sure. I think we're going to see the body cam footage
I also
soon.
found it kind of funny that they tried the taser thing didn't work. They're trying to like tase you like this way, but then it shot out by accident and they had to file a report about it. And no
Yeah.
one was injured. So I thought that was like an additional kind of gem at the very end where they had to file a force report. But that was the only force they used and they asked him multiple times, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you?" I have never seen this before. Like, I'm like, whoa, like, what? Why? Are you injured? Like I was like,
Yeah.
they really, really went like, for somebody who's drunk driving, they treated him really, really, fairly, if you will.
Yeah, no, they definitely had the kid gloves on. That's for sure.
They
Let's
absolutely
look
did.
at some of these
it was
comments.
crazy.
Yeah. So Dirk Diggler says, I agree, Luss. He knew he was weak and had to leave Texas. Okay. Dirk says, if you refuse the test, you can get a reckless driving, but that's better than a DUI. Dirk also says, hi, Anthony. You think he's watching, or do you think he's in the big house?
Well, according to his Instagram, he's enjoying life right now, and also the idea that people were posting on his behalf or they were scheduled.
Right. I don't think you can schedule Instagram posts.
Yeah, did he post recently? Yeah, I think he posted recently. I think he posted today. Right?
Yeah, that's crazy. Dirk also says, the CHP will respect your rights, but if it was a city comp, then would have forced that blood or breath. I don't know. I don't think they can force it up.
They need a warrant, and they got a warrant. So they needed a judge to get the warrant. They did everything the right way. Whatever, like these police, they were very professional. They were very, they didn't get out of line. You always hear like, police getting out of line. This is exactly the opposite of what is like these guys did, right? Even the judge, the whole court system. In my opinion, I think the sentence is maybe a little light. but it should be, this professional. So like everything was done, I think very well. If anything, it benefited Anthony. Not that he did the crime, but like all the factors, the police officers, their reports, the judge, and then obviously the plea deal.
Definitely, and I think part of it is that officers have body cams now, and a lot of the videos I've seen on YouTube of arrest videos and DUI stops, they're very professional. They do things by the book because they know they're being recorded. Unlike maybe of times gone by when they could just kick the shit out of you. It was your word against theirs.
I mean, but normally when you run, you are a different. You are asking the police.
Oh yeah,
increase the force they're using against you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not far from Chicago.
They seem to be very kind.
Yeah, definitely kind. I'm from just outside of Chicago, and I know the cops will, maybe not recently, but 2 years back, they would annihilate you if you did anything like that. But if he did that in Chicago recently, they had a new law passed by Lori Lightfoot that said the police couldn't pursue on foot anymore.
Oh, so, interesting. Yeah, maybe in California they have something like that too. Yeah, it used to be, hey man, like once he's fleeing, all gloves are off. Do whatever it takes to take him down, right?
Yeah, GB Vool says it's called marketing. Yeah, maybe he did this all for marketing. Let's read some of these comments. If that was a lowrider, he would have been tased in his ball sack. I believe that is. You missed the K, but that's okay.
Yeah.
TUS. Okay. I wonder what consigned watch he was wearing. Do we know that? I thought it was a Richard Mille. I thought somebody said it was a Richard Mille, but
we don't know that. I mean, the report doesn't actually indicate he had a watch on. They just indicate his clothing, and I think the watch would be in part of his clothing in the report.
Yeah,
so there was no watch, and typically they have to. So maybe he wasn't wearing a watch because otherwise they would have reported that he. So when you go to jail, they obviously take all your goods and they itemize your goods. Then when you get out, they give you them back. I don't think the report mentioned that he had a watch on.
Yeah, you would think they would. Let's see. Huck says definitely was wearing the newly confiscated Daytona. Yeah, what's with that Daytona? What do you think's going to happen with that? He has to give it back to the rightful owner. Fake Frankenstein or counterfeit or not. You can't just take somebody's.
It's one of these
property.
Issues where I think because the couple was Italian, they don't speak any English. They're kind of screwed because like you kind of need to speak English, right? To like sue or, to present a case, criminal or otherwise. I think it was a thing where Anthony looked at the situation and he knew that the probability of these people suing would be very little.
Yeah, I don't know if that was me, I would get a translator. I'd go to the police and say, this MFer took my watch. Please help me retrieve it. Using a translator.
They might have gone to the police and the police came and they didn't do anything. And that can be very depressing, like how many more times are you going to go to the police if that's all they're going to do?
Yeah, that's interesting. Dirk says they will get it in the drunk tank and they know where the cameras are not recording. Okay. That's probably why the diamonds on the bezel was dented and looked sunken in. GB Vool, that's so scummy. So check this out. So if we get the body cam footage, I want somebody to put together a video.
Oh, they will.
And use it.
They will.
And use this song. Check this out. Imagine Tony getting arrested and stop. I love those.
They will.
Videos
they make a lot of memes. Have you seen these like recent memes? Like they're pretty. I think somebody's like wife made them a meme or something. Like their wife. Well, like it's like what the heck's going on here? Like on Reddit, somebody's Yes, I mean, I remember seeing it today. I was like, "What?" Oh yeah, meme my wife made because even she finds Travis to be an absolute moron. Like people's wives are making memes because their husbands are spending so much time watching the content. Can you imagine your wife saying, "Hey man, here's a meme for you to post on that really cool Reddit forum that you're part of."
Exactly. You know,
I
some
the,
people
the
say it.
level of like commitment some of these people have is
Oh
like
my gosh.
I it's a little scary, but it's also, hey man, I respect it. I mean, it is, I mean, your wife
Well,
made a meme for you to
yeah.
post on that subreddit that you are part of.
That's hilarious. I mean, some people could say that about us. I mean, why do we care so much about
No, exactly
Anthony
true.
Farrow and the Titans
Good
gentleman?
point. Good
It's
point.
it's like for me. It's some people would say it's like a car crash and you just can't look away.
But every time it's
But
crashing, it veers slightly off and then, it continues on. Like you gotta give him credit. He has continued on past either what I think anyone reasonably would thought. I thought this would be over. I thought there would be no more social media for sure. But he's still even in jail. He's still posting on Instagram.
yeah, that's hilarious. Let me read a little bit more of this police report. Okay, so after he was chased on foot, you know, he ran quite a bit, and you know, if he wanted to get away, I would have assumed he could have gotten away. I mean, he's fit, he exercises, and you know, I'm pretty out of shape, but I think I could outrun a cop.
Well, there's two cops,
That's
right?
just me. Two
There's two
cops,
cops.
right? Exactly. So, but anyway, so the officer writes, I tackled Farrer to the ground after pursuing him on foot for approximately 330 feet.
There's a
Farrer placed
football
his hands
field.
behind his back. Yeah, 300, is that a football field?
Yeah, 300 feet is 100 yards. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so it goes on. My partner and I walked to the patrol vehicle and I conducted a full standing search of him. Farrer stated he would not cooperate without speaking to his lawyer.
So this is a
Sergeant
mistake.
Drum.
He said this at this point
Okay.
in time. He should have said it as soon as he was arrested.
Right,
It would have
exactly.
made
If you're
a
gonna,
totally different case.
you're basically making the attorney's job a lot harder, right?
Right, because if he had said that as soon as they pulled him over, they got to take him in. They got to give him the attorney. What he did was he ran away. He answered all those questions. He failed all those tests or refused to do them. I mean, it's like too. This is the beauty of Anthony, right? He kind of knows what he's doing, but he doesn't like he kind of understands, right? That I need to say I need an attorney. But the
Mhm.
timing of this is completely wrong. Had he said that as soon as they pulled him over, roll up the window, I want my attorney. This thing is, I mean, the running, the chasing, none of this happens.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Let me continue. Sergeant Drum began a vehicle inventory and located a pepper gun wedged between the driver's seat and center console, which is legal to have in his possession. And he's been flashing that pepper gun. I've seen
He
pictures of
loves
it,
that
and
pepper
guys
gun. He
and
loves
people
it.
have commented, that, you know, that's not a real gun. It's a pepper gun, and they told you which brand it was, and you could look it up on Amazon. And I think it was like $200. But yeah, he can't possess a firearm,
No,
correct?
not
Because
felons
he's
cannot possess. Yeah, correct. Felons cannot possess firearms in the U.S. at least.
yeah. Okay, so at approximately 0245 hours, I read page 2 of the DMV section verbatim to Farrer. I asked Farrer if he would take a breath test, and he stated no. I asked Farrer if he would take a blood test, and he stated, I will not. And I asked Farrer if what I read to him made sense to him, and he stated it did. I asked Farrer if he had any questions, and he said he did not. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole arrest report. You know, plus the addendum where he says, or where they disclose the accidental discharge of that,
Yeah.
or the taser.
Yep, yep. Didn't injure anyone. It's the only time I've seen accidental discharge. It has not injured somebody. So Anthony again, very lucky. Normally, when they
Yeah,
accidentally discharge it, they like aim at your head or something. It's like, oh, it was an accident. But Anthony very lucky that it didn't harm him.
definitely. I mean, as smart and as clever as Anthony is, I mean, I really wish he'd learn from his mistakes and kind of stay on the right path. And you've mentioned this in a recent video that you made. He really needs somebody to hold his hand and keep him on the straight and narrow path, and tell him when he's going off on a tangent or making a huge mistake. And he had that for a while in Jimmy. If Jimmy had just stuck around with them, I think we'd see a different story unfolding with Anthony and the
Right.
Timepiece
Because
Gentleman.
remember, the timeline is Anthony gets out of probation. He hangs out with Jimmy. Things seem to still be going well, right, with Jimmy. Yes, there was a
Yeah,
whole penthouse disaster, but like things, at least it didn't seem like he was falling apart like he is right now. I mean, definitely, um, things are getting worse. The Bob's Watches lawsuit, this, that. I mean, there's like, I don't think he has the time or money to sue anyone right now, even Jimmy, right? Because he's so criminal, civil. Bob's Watches is no joke. They're suing him for over $1 million.
yeah,
I don't think they have a case outside of claim one, but it's still a scary lawsuit nonetheless that you defend.
yeah. It's going to cost them some real money to defend,
Right.
and
And on top of the criminal, and
right.
you can't. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask you to defend that, without presuming a settlement.
I don't think they're going to settle. Not the way that's written.
Really.
Yep.
But
You
how
can
much do you
kind
think?
of tell.
Interesting. How much do you think it would cost to defend that? Just ballpark.
Well, okay. So I'm in a case right now. It's 3 years later. I'm on my second lawyer. I mean, I'm not paying for the case because I have indemnity. I mean, we're probably at
Okay.
200, 300,000 for just me, and there's two other doctors on top. So maybe I mean, minimal 50,000, probably 400K if it goes the distance.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, that's enough to wreck most
Buy a
people
richer
in
mill.
most
That's
businesses.
enough to buy a richer mill.
Exactly. So in your case, the insurance company is covering the legal fees. Is that how that
No,
works?
the doctor is. I was a client. I was their marketing agency, and something happened between partners and so on. So I have
Oh, okay.
blanket indemnity. So, but I didn't like their lawyer that everyone had. So now I have my own lawyer. So hopefully things actually get moving faster than previously. But it
Wow,
can
that's
take a
really
very long
interesting.
time. My case is not any
Mhm.
it's not any more complex than Bob Watts' cases is. So, I mean, if Bob Watts wants to go to distance, it could take 3+ years to so not only is the money and the lawyer fees, it's just having something pending for that long is really, it's a little stressful. Yeah.
Wow. So it sounds like, well, it seems to me that maybe Bob's Watches just wants to bury him. What they said about Bob's Watches in the videos was, to me, very, very disparaging. I thought it was, it was way off base and it was uncalled for. I mean, if a company does something wrong, there are a lot better ways to do it, more tactful ways. You don't have to necessarily name names. You don't have to be definitive and call them. I don't know what he called them or what he accused them
Well,
of,
he
but
was
it
calling
wasn't.
them. He said that the warranty was washed, and then he kept
Okay.
referencing it was not correct, or um. But in my opinion, that was a very, I'm surprised Bob Watts is sued on that for defamation. To be quite honest with you,
Hmm.
because they just said Bob's. They never said Bob's Watches, right? Now people might be like, oh, I knew it was Bob, right? Um, and then secondly, that was, I mean, they did to make a TikTok video from it, but Anthony has wronged Jordan far more than Bob's watches. You know, that Jordan guy who like they blame,
Yeah.
they kind of like that's the guy who I think actually has a good defamation case. Because Anthony's
Yeah.
fans did actually destroy his Instagram. There was evidence of that. That was like his major business and how he was trading and selling, right?
Really? Wow.
So in my opinion, you know, Jordan had a real I don't know what happened to him. He's just kind of MIA right now. But when you privately record people without their consent, when you act and behave the way Anthony, you know, often it's probably, you know, Bob's watches. I think the only reason, like you said, they're doing this is because they have the money, they have the time, they have the resources, and they just simply don't like the guy. Jordan
Yeah.
has a better case, but he probably doesn't have the money or time. He's just like one dude.
Yeah, that's a good point. I tried to follow that Jordan story with the alleged counterfeit Franken Daytona, but it was kind of hard to follow because I know in the beginning he and Jordan were, working
Friends.
together.
Yep,
He helped
yep.
him identify that it was presumably a fake watch, but then Jordan wanted Anthony to send him the watch so he could presumably sell it and recoup some of his costs. I don't know. It didn't make sense. Then things went sour with Jordan, and Anthony was posting all the messages that Jordan had sent him. And I don't know. Sometimes things need to be kept private, and you don't have to just blast
Well,
everybody.
this is what
you
I'm
just-
saying. If I'm texting Anthony, right,
Mhm.
you can 100% be positive he's going to post our text online on a video because he's
Yeah.
done that before. And if and I'm saying, hey, Anthony, I just want to keep this between me and you, just like, you know, Jordan, right? You
Mhm.
can 100% believe that he's going to publish that video of you the next day. You know what? And this is why it's so scary to deal with somebody like Anthony, because things that, like, let's say we talk in private and via text, I would never show your text. You know, whatever you're saying, whatever is the, unless there was like a legal case that I had to show it.
Yeah.
I think the ordinary human being would never show like these. You remember, like the whole video was Jordan texting. I bet you Jordan doesn't expect that his text will be on a video and be formatted in that very negative. And same with the Mike Rubin thing. And this is his core problem. I think we're getting to like the core problem is he has to pretend to be better than you. He has to put you down for
Mhm.
him to be successful. He has to put you down. Like for Mike Rubin, oh, he's getting a little popular. People, making funny memes about Mike the Rubinator. All right, I know what I can do. I'll put him down. And I think, like those conversations with Jordan, it should have never been, even if it's a great video, it's great content, 100,000 views. You cannot publish that because anyone who's texting you now is going to realize that this is what you've done to this guy. You could do it to me too. Like when he's showing Roman Sharp's text on live stream, I bet you
Yeah.
Roman Sharp is not happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, there's privacy. It's privacy. You want certain things to be kept private. I remember one video, an older video, where a customer who bought a watch had a complaint, and I think I want to say he sent in a deposit. He wanted his deposit back, and Anthony just basically told him, "No, you can't get your deposit back." He had his reasoning for it and told him to, F off. I don't care. And I think he should have gotten his deposit back. If you send a deposit for watch and the deal goes south, you should be able to get your deposit back. But yeah, anyone who does business with somebody, you want that all the communications to be, professional and private. You don't want to have
You're
to
not
worry
expecting-
about.
Yeah, he always does this on Instagram. It's like some random. No, he doesn't tell you who it is sometimes, but like, can you imagine you're trying to negotiate, and obviously you want the lowest price, he wants the highest price, and you're doing this in good faith, and then all of a sudden he's blasting off on you on Instagram and saying, "Look at what this guy did," and it's like, I mean, and
Right,
it's weird.
right.
It's like, I really dislike that about him because I think like the whole Alfred, the bullying, the Alfred, the puck golf, like you see this in, bullying, blaming everything on Marco, where clearly Marco has no power to do a blackout, right? Marco was like, hey, I got a good
Yeah.
idea. Anthony was just like, no, that's a stupid idea. We're not doing that, right? It's obviously So there's little things where I look at this and I say, like, maybe because he's the underdog, maybe because he's a felon, maybe because he's always trying to um prove himself, right? He's always trying to prove his haters wrong, which is a wrong
Mhm.
mindset. He is doing so by putting other people down.
Yeah, yeah. GB Vool says, "True, Jordan shut down all his business social media."
So the reason that's so interesting is that's actual damages. So if Jordan can show that, hey, my social media, my Instagram makes me $20,000 a month, and I just shut it down for a month because I was getting such bad feedback, he could actually recover for that. I think Bob's
Hmm,
watches
yeah.
is going to be really, really difficult to prove what are the damages done to me, from this video, and it's going to be impossible to prove.
Yeah, that's a good point. Eric Shum writes, "Why does the legal system suck so much?" Yeah, I
Lawyer.
mean, a lot of people argue, is it 60 UIs? I haven't really been able to confirm that
I
number.
wouldn't be shocked if it was 6. I think that's just a number that Reddit has, because like there's no
Okay.
way this is number 7, and he got 96 hours. Like there's no way it's number like I it just seems like so many. Like, like it's a it, he's going to harm somebody at some point in time. This continues. I don't
Yeah,
think we need more evidence about that.
I mean, one DUI should be all that it takes. I have a friend who's had one DUI, years ago, and he will not have a drink and get behind the wheel and drive.
Well,
And
I always watch
today,
these commercials, and they always make
Mhm,
it seem like you get the DUI, your life is ruined,
mhm.
right? On these commercials, like
Yeah,
on radio and stuff, they make it, oh my gosh, your life is over, and you'll never get a job, and you can't drive no more. Well, how's Anthony? Like, his life is like you said, he's a black cat. He's got 9 lives. He'll go 9 DUIs, I guess.
yeah. I mean, it'll cost you. I don't know. Back then, it probably cost him 25,000. He had to do, uh, you know, alcoholic,
Anonymous.
education courses. Yeah, and just different things like that. It sucked for him, and he learned his lesson after one time.
I hope
And
so. Yeah, I
nowadays,
hope
you,
so.
you can nowadays you can call an Uber or Lyft. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
really doesn't
yeah.
make
I mean,
sense.
he's in Los Angeles. He has no excuse that why he can't press that button and lift his way home.
Right,
Or
right,
why his
exactly.
passenger, who's also at risk, can't press the button for him and then he can go home wherever.
Yeah, exactly. GB Vool says TPG needs a standards and practices department.
I thought that was Z, right? Business development.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, definitely. So, on another topic, what happened to Watch Nicholas? Is he still making videos? I
I
heard.
I think he comes and goes, he comes and goes, he comes and goes. I know that like he had a live stream going on, and he did get like 50, even 80 viewers at one time, because I mean, these live streams are like 6, 10 hour live streams. I mean, he
Yeah,
going
yeah, he
hard at
had
these
some.
live streams.
He,
Um,
he did. I want to say he did an 8-hour live stream one time.
no,
It
but
was it was
he's
crazy.
done a ton of these 10+ hour live streams. Even I think
Hmm.
recently. Um,
Wow.
I have no idea what happened to him, but I wish him the best. I hope he's okay. And I know there's an audience. Like I was trying to tell you, so I'll disclose something that I said, if you can capture the Watts Nicholas audience, I know they donate a shit ton of money all the time. I know they're donating like every single every single hour they're donating to keep the stream live.
Yeah.
You would have probably about 100 viewers. It would be very entertaining. The way that Watts Nicholas does it is he has like just different people who donate can go on. Oh, I remember. Like, did you want to test? Did you ever figure out how to do like the phone in calls?
Yeah, with this Streamlabs
Yes.
Talk
Yeah.
Studio, we can invite guests. We can invite we could send a private link and get
But was there a
other
way to
guests.
vet the guests? I guess.
No, not really. I mean, you could you can cut him off or mute him and kick him off the stream if you had to.
Okay. So I was just wondering if there was a way to vet them, but I know that his live stream was incredibly popular. It grew and grew and grew, and then he kind of delayed. I don't know what happens and why he's no longer there, but I know there is an audience, who's trying to find a new home, if you will.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know if that definitely couldn't be me, because I don't know how much more I can talk about Anthony Ferrer in the Timepiece Gentleman. I couldn't do what Watch Nicholas does, with that subject. My channel, I like to keep it around tax topics and the IRS and helpful accounting.
Do you watch this channel called Cleared Value Taxes?
Oh yeah. David Kim. Clear Value Tax.
Yeah, fantastic.
He's from. He's not too far from me. He's in Barrington, Illinois.
Yeah, I don't know how much time you have, but like his channel is real. I mean, it's just like a white background, maybe a whiteboard. Like, yeah, I mean, he made it big on taxes of all things, which I think is like really inherently kind of boring. And he's a huge YouTuber.
Yeah, Brian Kim. Yeah, he blew up around COVID because he was
the stimulus
videos.
Yep, yeah. He did everything, and then everyone's googling stimulus. Give me some of that stimulus.
Yeah, and back then, a friend of mine that was around. Yeah, a friend of mine was sending me his videos back then, and I watched it, and I didn't realize how groundbreaking he was at that time, because he really, with just a bare bones basic channel, no bells and whistles.
Yep.
He just, he has notes that he reads off of.
He's got a whiteboard, and that's it.
And he just spits it out very well. He does a great job. I couldn't do what he does, to be honest with you. I need a lot more preparation, but I don't know. But this Watch Nicholas audience, I mean, there's a lot of places they can go, I imagine.
Well, I wonder, how Reddit has AMAs, right? I really wonder, like how much of this audience we have is actually just Redditors. Like, what percentage of the people watching now are just like, they are just Reddit, right? They're just Redditors, and because they post a shit ton, they comment a shit ton, they like a ton. I mean, how Reddit tells you how many people are in the little subreddit, right?
Yeah.
There's always like 80 or 90 of them at any given time of night, and I just kind of wonder, like, like how interesting would it be if they had like a YouTube channel, and they just kind of, just talk to each other. I mean, it would be interesting because some of the comments, it's I mean, that's one way. So it's kind of a two-edged. Do you want the views? And you're like, yeah. Do you want watching? So I'll put it this way. Okay, I'm gonna give you two questions. If I could hand you over Watch Nicholas's audience, would you want them?
Honestly, I wouldn't. I want viewers who are more targeted towards, education in regards to taxes and small business bookkeeping and accounting topics, because that's really where my strong suit is, and that's where I feel like I can deliver the most value to the YouTube audience.
This is what we're talking about. We're talking about demographic. So if you're interested in a Rolex, you probably, let's assume that the Reddit people, they have interest in Rolex, if not own a Rolex, right? Some of them have, pictures of Rolexes. I see it from comments. They probably make a decent amount of money. They probably may own a small business like Wesley, right? I always kind of ponder this idea. Is the Reddit actually worth catering towards because they're interested in Rolexes and Richard Milles? What percentage of them own a business? What percentage of them need tax help, need legal help? How valuable is that, slice of Reddit? And I think the answer is very valuable.
Yeah, that's true. That's interesting. So check out this banner I just put down.
Yeah, I
Please be
like it.
sure to check out Tony G's YouTube channel, Lust. And
Yeah.
I like your. I really love your channel. You've got at least is it 26,000 subscribers right now?
Yep. Yep.
And you know the way you put out content on Anthony and the Timepiece Gentleman, um, those are the videos I watch on your channel. Probably
That's
the
probably the
same with
only
a lot of
videos
other
anyone
people.
watches. Yeah. I gotta try to get them hooked on something else right now. It's kind of like, okay, I know what you guys want. Let me throw out this video in the middle, but there's other
Yeah.
videos, surrounding it. So maybe you guys will watch the other videos.
Yeah, and same here. You know, I've had some early success with Timepiece Gentleman videos and other videos that I want to make, not so much. And the YouTube algorithm, you know, it guides you. It tells you what
Yeah,
videos it wants you to make.
no,
It's
it's
great
it's
and it's
wild,
horrible at
right?
the
I
same
mean,
time.
you could make a
Yeah,
video that you love making, titled it, put Anthony's name. It's not about Anthony. Just you made your video. It's about taxes for small
yeah.
businesses in Chicago, and then just put like parentheses Anthony Farrar, and that video that keyword will like get you 1,000 views.
It's funny. I actually did that experiment. The same video, disguised wages. I used a thumbnail with Anthony and Darby. It was just a quick test,
Yep, yep.
and that video got, you know, it quickly got 1,000 views. I republished it because I just felt like I should republish it, and I
Yep.
changed the thumbnail and changed a couple other things around, kind of like whitewashed it, if you will. And that video, I don't think it is even broken 100 views.
Exactly.
Same video.
It's so weird, right? And
Yeah.
that's what I think the take home point for me is like, even if I don't want to make videos about him, I kind of have to,
Yeah.
right? Because if I want people to watch my other videos, I have to so how can I say this? We will be making videos about him in the next few months. I know for a positive that it won't stop. And I know that there will be one major event, even bigger than this event, where he'll do something that like Penthouse level or Blackout 1.0 level or the robbery
Yeah.
level. He's due for one major event. He does. It's like every quarter there's something just crazy happening. And everyone, well, I'll be back. I'll be back.
I agree. Something big is coming.
Something
And I'm
big is
really
coming. It's
surprised.
brewing.
I'm really surprised, you know, you and I, you more so, are the only guys still making Anthony
Yeah,
Farrar Timepiece
You
Gentleman content.
asked me that question, so I had a little bit of time to think of it, right? I think it really comes down to the fact that he is a gray market watch dealer. And if you do bring attention to him, positive or negative, you're bringing attention to gray market watch dealer. Right? Like any video I make, it's a consignment RM. Oh, RM is lost. Oh, he's running. What watch was he wearing? Right? The audience that watches him likes Rolexes and RMs and that type of stuff. So if you are a watch channel likely to cover him, so first of all, most non-watch channels are not going to cover him because he does watches. So he's not in the same category. But if you are a watch channel and you want to cover him and you're trying to sell watches too, it makes the whole market look embarrassing, right? Like the whole idea of Roman Sharf, right, selling gray market watches, it makes it look. I mean, he's at the end of the day, he's a colleague, he's a peer.
Sure.
But he's doing things that do not make any of you look good, right?
Yeah, no, he's like a bad used car salesman for the used car
Well, the
industry.
question is, okay, if I'm going to consign and all these bad things are happening to this guy, what about you? You also offer the same services, same watches, same deals, same polishing, same everything. And I think that's why he doesn't get covered, because he makes the whole ecosystem look a little worse than people want.
Yeah, and I'm sure you saw this. As of June 1st, he dropped his consignment rates to 5%.
5%, which he said he would never do again.
Yeah, previously it was 5 to 10 with the sliding scale. Like if it was over 100,000, it was closer to 5%. But yeah, I mean, does that reek of desperation? I mean, maybe.
Well, I mean, here's like a real core issue in his business. The market is down.
Sure.
So no matter what he does, the market is down. If you only know how to sell a watch when the market is up, you are gonna have a real hard time today in today's economy. So I think
Right.
overall it's the market trend that is really decimating him and other. So like not everyone's going to survive. I'll just put it that way.
Mhm.
He may not, and it's compounding with the mistakes he makes. But at the end of the day, it could just be the market that takes him down. It's
Yeah.
done so to bigger businesses before.
Yeah, definitely. Let's read some of these comments. Giancarlo Leone writes,
I know John
AF,
Carlo,
Anthony
yeah.
Fair. Oh, okay, great. Flexes all his money he makes and can't pay a driver, question mark. That's on him. I bet he's close to broke. GB Vool says, was this live stream promoted on Reddit?
I
I
was
don't
on
think it
Reddit.
was.
No, yeah, they didn't repost it.
Yeah, and this guy, he also says probably 0%. I agree. It wasn't. I didn't see it on Reddit, and I wasn't about to self promote myself on Reddit because you know what? I'll be honest. They're a brutal crowd. They've accused me of having
Oh, what
spent
did?
more money on my face than Jennifer Aniston.
Oh
I take it
man.
as a
Oh,
compliment.
I mean,
I think it's a
yeah.
compliment.
Given what they've said to me, that's definitely a compliment. That's definitely.
Yeah, it's a tough crowd. Eric Shum writes, watch it be taking all the consignment pieces and running off with it.
And that was the word
Uh,
from the very beginning of Blackout 1.0 was he took the consignment pieces and didn't notify the consignees, and I mean it's
yeah,
still on the table.
how can you do a blackout and not let your consignee
Right.
customers know?
Unless you
But
wanted to film you calling them and letting them know.
yeah, I know he put it on film that he called, one or two and
One
told them it's
one
a
guy.
stunt. It's all good. Just, play along.
But that
You're
guy
good.
wasn't happy. The guy on the phone was like, "Why? Why didn't you tell me before?" Oh, then the
Yeah.
stunt wouldn't have been as valuable. It wouldn't have been as impactful.
Yeah. Okay. GB Vool writes, whatever happened with Watch Wizard? I don't know who that is. Do you?
I think it's somehow related to Watch Nicholas. So what Watch Nicholas has done is he attacks a lot of people like Archie Luxury, Tim,
Okay.
Motion. So he's like, I guess like he calls himself the Watchdog. So Watch Wizard is a guy I think associated with Roman, and he owes people money, and then he just kind of disappeared.
Okay.
So it's exactly what we're talking about, Blackout 1.0.
Interesting. So let's wrap this up soon. I didn't realize how late it's been getting. We've running close to 2 hours here.
I
But
like
let
the
me
new
play this
style
audio.
though. I like this the stream. I might get StreamYard.
Yeah, you know what? If you want to do it on your channel, if you want to do it together, I could invite you as a team member, and we can use
Oh
the same
yeah.
platform.
Okay. Makes sense.
That,
And we don't
that would work
always have
too.
to. I think it would be also cool just talk about collecting watches and business in general.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be like 5 people, Anthony, Darby, Liz, to learn a little bit about business. We'll call it Business University, and we'll tag it Anthony Farrar to get the SEO, to get the YouTube clicks.
Exactly. We'll sell it for $1,500 per course with no guarantees.
Yeah, no guarantees.
No refunds, no guarantees. So let me just play this audio clip. So when I heard about Anthony running, this clip just really, it really reminded me of the situation. And let's see if anybody knows where this clip is from. It's kind of an obscure film.
I'm the only one in the
I'm sorry. Let me start it over.
Because I'm the only one in this room who knows how fast your boy can run over there. You want to know why? Because I bred him. Because I'm the only one in this room who knows how fast your boy can run over there.
So, any idea where that's from?
No, I have no idea.
Yeah, it's where is that? Oh, it's from this. I consider it a classic, but Pool Hall Junkies.
I have never watched it. I might have
It-
to go watch it. Is it good?
It's a great flick if you like smoky pool hall type hustling movies. It's
So
it's one of my
about,
it's one of my
actually
favorites.
about playing pool and hustling pool. Okay.
Yes, exactly. And there's a lot of
Okay.
hustling going on.
Very
But
interesting.
yeah, let me see here. We have one question for you, Les. Eric by Eric Shum. Whatever ended up happening with the Pinkertons?
Oh yeah, that's on my other channel, the Umu channel. It's about a card game, Magic, and they were upset, so they sent the Pinkertons. I don't know, historically, they're like a gang of union busters. They're not like friendly people, and people didn't actually believe they still existed. But they do, and a child's toy company decided it was their best objective to hire them to go to somebody's home and kind of be threatening and menacing to get their cards back.
Wow. That's if that were my watch, that's what I would do. I'd hire some
Yeah, you know what?
big
They should hire the
muscle guys
Pinkertons,
in
yeah,
the
to
gym.
get their watch back. Yeah, they
And
should.
I'd say, you guys help me get my watch back.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
my
yeah.
watch. Here's the proof it's my watch. Here's
Actually, that is an option because they're not actually police officers or federal. They're just like a random. They're just a random online website that you can hire a bunch of goons to show up and repossess items.
oh, okay. That's good to know. I never knew that existed. I mean, it makes sense.
Historically,
before you'd have
they are very famous, but not for a good reason.
Gotcha. All right, Les, how about we wrap this up? If you want to do this again, you guys, please let us know in the comments. Please be sure to hit that like button. Thanks for supporting the live stream. Les, any final words?
Yeah, so I mean, I will talk a little bit off stream a little bit about this, but I think there's a way to do this that incorporates. So I've seen people do this before.
Okay.
And I seen so we have the little YouTube symbol, right? I think there's a way to do it where people can ask questions on Reddit. And then the little Reddit thing pops up.
Oh, okay. Let me think here.
Because I think I've seen it where the little symbol is the Reddit little symbol is a little Reddit dude.
Okay, we'd have to be streaming to Reddit. So can you
okay,
stream?
that makes sense. That makes sense.
Can you stream in a Reddit group?
I didn't even know you could stream on Reddit. I assume they're just coming.
That's the only way I can think of. Because if I was streaming, if we were streaming to Facebook, then the Facebook comments would pop up in this chat bar here on the side.
Oh, yep. Okay, maybe I'm misunderstanding. Yeah, I got it. So we have to stream on these platforms for these other comments to come up, right?
Yes, exactly. Giancarlo Leone says Paul Newman's Hustler is a classic. Yeah, that was a great movie. If you like that, definitely check out Pool Hall Junkies if you haven't watched that. That's one of my favorites. And I actually got this DVD not too long ago because I wanted to rewatch the flick and I couldn't stream it, but I've just been sitting on it because it's on a DVD and I don't know if I have a DVD player anymore, to be honest with you.
So the only thing that plays a DVD in my home is the Xbox One. So that's the only device.
Okay.
It plays video games and the DVD. So I mean, it's like $90 or $100 for the price of a DVD player. Now you have an Xbox One.
There you go. All right, let's wrap this up. Les, Tony G, I appreciate your time. Thanks for coming on my channel. This
Always
was
good.
a lot of fun.
Oh, it's just fun. It's just a lot of fun.
All right. Sounds good. I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. If you want to stay and chat for a bit, I'll still be here.
Okay. Sounds good.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We appreciate it. See you guys soon.
All right. Bye, guys.